And welcome back to Enfield Today. This week we have a couple guests, one from Enfield, one from Avon. We're going to be talking about SGI and Buddhism and meditation. And you may have noticed an increase in yoga and different articles and things or news reports about meditation. And I thought it'd be very good to have some local experts come on the show and talk a little bit about one certain area of Buddhism, and that's Nichiren Buddhism. And I have a little background in that as well. And so to my right, I'm going to introduce our first guest is John Hayden, and he's an Enfield resident from way back in the mid or early 80s. And on my left is Rick Wilson, and Rick is from the Avon area and is also involved in SGI for our district. So starting off with John. John, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found, well, let's talk about Buddhism first. Let's start there, I guess, at the very beginning. This is the statue of Siddhartha, the prince who was enlightened sitting under the Bodhi tree. And so people meditate to find enlightenment. And take it from there.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they think of Buddhism, that's the first thing that they think about is, the statue of Shakyamuni. But actually, Buddha is not, really, it's a person in terms of historically, but it's a actually condition that each person has in their life, the world of Buddhahood. It's an enlightened condition. It's a life that it's very, very difficult to explain. It's kind of like explaining air. What is air? It's a compassionate. It's a life filled with vitality, energy, hope, courage, confidence, and it's really like your true self, your enlightened self, your highest self. So when you're bringing out through this Buddhist practice your highest life condition, you're bringing out the highest state of life that's possible, and it affects all aspects of your life. Rick, if you'd like to take it from there.
Well, I guess I would only add to that traditional views of Buddhism suggest that when the Buddha attained his awakening, he couldn't wait to get out of here, to get off of this earthly plane of rebirth, and something was called nirvana. Many of you probably know that word. As Buddhism evolved, and certainly by the time we get to Nichiren Buddhism, which is quite a bit later than the Buddha's life, in 13th century Japan is where it began. Nirvana is understood to be actually right here. So John said a minute ago that when you bring out your Buddha nature, it transforms all aspects of your life. That means your real life here in this world. So the Buddha land is here. Nirvana is here. There's no need to escape from the cycle of birth and death, because depending upon our own life condition, the land we live in can be hell, it can be a wonderful place, it can be the Buddha land. It depends on us. It's not a place, and there is no reason to escape. We just transform where we are and as we are. It's a very important point, I think, about the Buddhism that we happen to practice in the Soka Gakkai International Nichiren Buddhism.
The idea, the concept of Buddha nature is very new to me, and I had been reading several books about the earlier Buddhist writings, the Lotus Sutra, and it is interesting to me that nirvana is here, and I guess what I was saying earlier about one of the books, The Power of Now, is teaching me that when you're actually in the moment, you feel a certain level of peace, that you are sort of one with everything. And as strange as that might sound, we recognize that each minute is just saturated with an amazing sense of peace.